There's no denying that Naruto is one of the best and most important anime of all time. Hell, when I watched the 20th anniversary celebration video, I teared up just from pure emotion, but let's call it as it is. It's a pain to sit down and watch over 700 episodes, and while you can follow a guide to cut out the filler and only enjoy the canon parts, it's still a commitment. But thankfully, there's a much more interactive way to experience the Naruto story, through gaming. Although there are about 40 Naruto games, you don't need to play them all. I don't know how Globko managed to review every single one, but what a legend. Naruto is one of the few anime series to have its story adapted in video games brilliantly. In some ways, it even surpasses the Naruto anime and delivers the hype even better. Undoubtedly, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm is the king of Naruto games. It even adapted the final arc before the anime did. If you have access to it, then it's my #1 recommended way to enjoy Naruto. But I'd like to take it back even further, to the PlayStation 2 era and my first Naruto game series.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja!
Back then, I didn't have an easy way to watch Naruto, but thankfully, the games were a great substitute for enjoying Naruto and its story, and it's all thanks to Naruto Ultimate Ninja. But did it actually do a good job of telling the story of Naruto? It's time to play the series again and see how good they are as Naruto games. But before we begin, this is a review of the first 3 games only, as when the series started entering into Shippuden territory, it stopped way early in it due to the release of what would be at the time the next-gen consoles, the PS3 and Xbox 360, and the series would change from Ultimate Ninja to Ultimate Ninja Storm. So even if they do have great story modes, I can't recommend something that's incomplete. Now, enough stalling and let's start. Believe it! The Naruto Ultimate Ninja series was developed by CyberConnect 2, who would later go on and develop the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, so you can kind of consider this their Naruto beginnings. Naruto Ultimate Ninja is a 2D fighter that makes use of 3D space, but what do I mean by that? Well, the fights are traditional 2D combat, but by pressing up on the jump button, you can go to the back of the stage, and vice versa to get back to the front layer, and honestly, I miss these kinds of anime fighters. It seems nowadays anime games are either full-on 2D or 3D, but there's no more 2.5D, like Ultimate Ninja and the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series. I do think that anime games have come a long way since then to become actual good games for everyone, rather than just for the fans. But I just miss this style of anime fighters, you know? It's just something I wanted to get off my chest. And now, let's dive into the first Naruto Ultimate Ninja.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja!
Naruto Ultimate Ninja came out back in 2003 in Japan and 2006 everywhere else, and oh man does it ooze the first in the series energy. You'll see why later, but first, let's go into the story mode, or scenario as the game likes to call it. It's a Smash Classic mode kind of affair, where you get to experience the story of each character by fighting against 6 opponents, with cutscenes in between, and those cutscenes, we've got to talk about them. The game takes inspiration from the manga more than the anime, and it's apparent by the game's presentation. Each character has a manga shadow outline. The intros of fights are presented through manga panels that show off the stage and the fighters, and the cutscenes are also presented as manga panels where stills of characters stand in front of them with the stage in the background. It's got a lot of charm presentation-wise, but the game's story is not the best way to experience Naruto. Let's take Naruto's Saga for example. Naruto first fights Kakashi, Sasuke, and Haku to represent the land of the Waves arc, then goes into the Chunin exam arc by fighting Neji, Gaara, and Orochimaru, in that order, and yes, it is out of order. It should be Orochimaru, Neji, then Gaara, but the game was trying to put in Orochimaru as the final boss of the game, the master hand if you will, and although I do get why they did that, it's not very faithful to the story. Orochimaru back then was way more of a big deal than now. When you win each fight, even if you're supposed to lose, the scenario changes to fit in with the win. All in all, it fails as a Naruto game, and as a game, it's okay at best. It doesn't lay out the controls and mechanics very well, and the game's pace is very slow for a fighting game, with both the normal fights and the ultimate jutsu's cutscenes taking a long time. But I've got to admit that landing one and completing it to the end is very flashy and rewarding. The game had a lot of potential, but it just needed a bit of polish, and as a substitute to the manga and the anime, it falls short.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2!
Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 released in 2004 in Japan and 2007 everywhere else. Even though the game came out just a year after the first one, the improvements from it are substantial, and you'll see why later. But let's check the story first, or Ultimate Road if you will. Ultimate Ninja 2 doesn't cover the whole of Naruto, it covers from the middle of the Chunin exam arc up until the end of the Tsunade search arc. The game starts with the fight between Naruto and Jiraiya, just before the fight with Neji, and then you're free to explore the hidden Leaf Village. And here comes the biggest difference in how the story is told from the first game. Instead of going from battle to battle, you now get to explore the world between objectives, where you can talk to NPCs, where I've got to mention, it's nice that each line is voiced.
Man, oh man, it sure is depressing being single.
It shows how much love and care they put into the game. You can also go around exploring the world, doing side quests like finding a photo for Kakashi, and even play mini-games, and we'll get to the mini-games later. But first, let's get back to the story, and oh boy is it detailed. Even though the game's short, but it covers most of the events in the arcs. You get to play out almost each and every battle that occurred in the story, like for example, the Shino and Kankuro fight, which I honestly forgot ever happened, and looking back on it, I wouldn't say it's an event that actually has a lot of importance on the story, but the game still lets you experience it and play out the fight. It just shows how much love CyberConnect 2 had for the source material. The cutscenes are also way different from the first game. Instead of characters still talking in front of manga panels, we get the character models talking to each other, where you get to see what happens before and after the fight. Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2's story mode is fantastic, not just as a Naruto story, but in general. Unless you like to watch the fight choreography of the anime and how it plays out, I can confidently say Ultimate Ninja 2 is a great way to experience the story mode, even if you need to get caught up before playing it. But Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2's improvements aren't just in the story, but it's better everywhere else. The game actually lays out the controls and mechanics for you, which made diving back into it much easier, and the general pace of the game is much faster than the first entry. It's probably the fastest of the three games, but I just hope traversing the open world was as fast. I do appreciate when anime games let you explore the world of the anime, but traversing it is too slow for my liking. The minigames also aren't that great, to be honest. They do give a change of pace at your leisure, but the minigames themselves are either too simple, too long, or too infuriating. Despite that, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 is a fantastic Naruto game and gets my seal of approval.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3!
Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3 came out in 2005 in Japan and 2008 everywhere else. Thank goodness that the gaming industry got much better at localization. Unlike Ultimate Ninja 2, Ultimate Ninja 3 didn't need to improve much. It just needed to refine things a bit more, like the pacing of the game again got tweaked to be a bit slower from 2, but still much faster than 1, and Ultimate Jutsus now only have a single cutscene unlike the previous two games that range from 2 to 4 cutscenes, and while that improves the pacing of the fights, I kind of missed the showmanship and flashiness in Ultimate Ninja 2 in each Ultimate Jutsu cutscene. The game just feels tighter now, and in terms of gameplay, I'd say 3 is the best by far, but story-wise, it falls just short of 2. This time, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3 has two story modes. An open world mode called Ultimate Contest that has an original story of a festival between the leaf and the sand, with a tournament in the center of it where Genin get to fight Jonin, and the story mode by the name Hero's History, that lets you experience the highlights of the entire Naruto story. Basically, it took the Tenkaichi 3 approach to story mode, where 2 took the Budokai 3 approach. Even though Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3's story mode is much less detailed than 2, you can say that it's actually better in some places. It trims out the unnecessary fat, if you will, but I do prefer getting to experience everything that occurred just like in 2. Unlike the first two games, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3 has special battles where you get to fight against a giant opponent like when Naruto fought Shikaku and Tsunade against Manda, Orochimaru's giant snake, and although I do like that it adds a change of pace to the game, these battles just suck. It's just about finding the pattern and using it to your advantage. However, there's one thing that Ultimate Ninja 3 does that the other two can't even come close to: the cutscenes.
What's going on? What are you?
I'm your friend!
You can see how much CyberConnect 2 grew during the series, from 1's still panels, to 2's decent cutscenes, to 3 that basically felt like you're watching an episode of the anime. It's no wonder that they deliver the best and flashiest story mode in any anime game nowadays. They're just... I know I said that the game is like a highlight reel of the Naruto story, and that's true for the most part, where it covers the entirety of the Naruto story. But the final arc is actually fully represented here, where you start off with the fight between Naruto and Sasuke at the hospital's roof, then get to fight each battle against the hidden Sound Village ninja, all up until the final clash. Overall, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3 is a good substitute to the anime and manga, but if you want to know every little detail that happened, then you'll need to supplement it. But as a Naruto game, it's one of the greats. I've always loved games from long-running anime because of this reason. Sometimes, you just don't have the time to sit down and watch over 300 episodes of an anime, or in this case 700. And that's where the games come to the rescue. You get to play the story instead of just watching it, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja delivers on that to astounding results. Even though the Ninja Storm series is probably the best way to play Naruto these days, Naruto Ultimate Ninja is no slouch. It's an early, but great way to play Naruto. I just ignore the first one. Well guys, thank you for watching. This has been Enio, and until next time, matane.